Hello everyone, Sara Bierman here, Business Agility Coach for AgileDad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Stand-Up. Let's get started. Today I'm sharing my top 3 most important parts of a user story. This is one of the most common questions I get professionally. My husband is a software developer, and we often discuss this for his work too. I've been writing user stories for software development for over 15 years, and my first advice to those new to writing user stories is to know your audience and write the stories for them. Some teams like extensive documentation with screenshots, mock-ups, user flows, test data, etc., while some prefer the bare minimum. For me, the bare minimum consists of at least 3 parts to make sure the goal or intent of the requirement is clearly communicated and guidance for how to validate it. First is a user statement. You may have heard examples such as this actor, I need to accomplish this goal or this task so that I can gain this benefit. This defines the scope of the request at a high level. It includes who the work is for, the actor. Often I see teams list a product owner or a manager as the actor in the user statement, but the true actor should be whoever is gaining benefit from the work, which could be the product owner, but it's typically more aligned with the end user or the customer. So sometimes that takes some thought to figure out who that really is. Second is what action or data do they need? It doesn't have to be very detailed, but enough clarity that anyone reading it can tell what the actor is going to do with this or what they're going to get when this work is completed. Last and most importantly is why they need this. I often see this part of the user statement omitted, but in my opinion, it's the most important. The why not only helps the development team make sure that they're solving the right problem with the requested work, as many times what is being asked for isn't the only or best way to meet the goal. But the why is also crucial for prioritizing the work. The second part of a user story that I feel like you must have are assumptions. These point out the important background information or reminders for the work at a high level. It can document the discussion points around the work so you can avoid swirl. They could be a reference for an epic, some of the details from the epic, or other related tickets, so the team doesn't have to look in multiple places to know what is needed for this work. It can be some open questions that need to be confirmed, and then they can be removed if they're no longer accurate. This helps the story remain an ongoing conversation until the story is in development. The last part of a user story I think you must have is acceptance criteria. Now, these are the use cases of the story to validate all aspects or user journeys. It can be just a written list of items to confirm the UI elements, or it could be Gherkin-style acceptance criteria such as given when then or if then statements to make it clear what the conditions or triggers are to replicate it for testing. One note is that when you have too many use cases in a single story, that can indicate the need to split up that story into multiple ones. So as a recap, my top 3 must-haves for every user story are a user statement, assumptions, and acceptance criteria. Happy Wednesday. I hope if you work in software development, you found this helpful. And if you write user stories, I would love to hear your thoughts about my top 3. Have a great rest of your week, and remember to stay focused, keep it simple, and you will be successful.